Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and in this video we're going to do a debt update for the end of November. If this is something you're interested in, if you want to see if I cleared some of my debts or if I dug myself in a deeper hole, stay tuned. So okay you guys, I did create a sort of a new spreadsheet. I wanted to do a little bit of a different layout from what I was doing. I have all my debts listed on the top. I have my Marcus card, my Capital One number 2, Apple, Discover, Mattress Firm, my 401k loan, Capital One number 1, One Main, Lending Club, and my auto loan, and the last one is ECSI. So these are the same numbers from the month of October that when I closed out. So I ended the month with 2 being paid off. What I'm going to do, I am going to hide these 2 columns for my Marcus and my Capital One number 2 card because these 2 cards are paid off and they're at zero balance, just so we can have a better look at the rest of the spreadsheet. So we ended the month of October with my Apple card being $947.70, my Discover $5,814.08, Mattress Firm was at $29.95. My 401k loan, nothing had changed in a month because they only update once per month. It was at $15,609.30. My Capital One number 1 card was at $11,471.87. One Main, $15,992.18. Lending Club, $26,433.77. And Auto Loan, $42,332.80. And my ECSI, $1,695.46. Now that is the starting balance for the month of November, all those numbers mentioned, and that's a total of $123,392.16. Not sure why these are different. Okay, so I was a little off. So my starting balance for November is the ending balance for October of $123,292.16. So let's go into it and see how we did for the month. So I started my Apple card at full $947.70. I didn't pay any interest because whatever was charged on the card, I paid that balance off in full for the month. So even though I'm carrying a balance, I was able to pay off my statement balance for the month of November. And I made an addition. I had an additional charge, which haven't been paid yet, of $34.27. So right now, so the month of November ended at $981.97. So my Discover card, I started with $5,814.08. I made the minimum payment. I made payments, which included cash rewards adjustments for $175.50. They charged me total interest of $58.48, and I ended the month with $5,697.06. I hope you're following me so far. I think this spreadsheet will work a little bit better for me just so I can see the numbers, see how much they're charging me for interest. Okay, Mattress Firm, there's 0% interest on this card, so my minimum payment was applied against my principal balance, and I reduced it to $2,928 even. I started at $2,995. Okay, so my 401k loan was able to update. I made the minimum payment of $442. They did take $74.97 in tax, in interest, and I ended the month at $15,242.27. Okay, let's move over a little bit. All right, so next up is my Capital One number one card. I started with $11,471.87, and I made the minimum payment of $285. There was interest charges of $262.75, and I made a payment of $93.03, but my balance was still up to $11,947.86. Now, this Capital One number one card is a card that I use to pay for any bills and expenses that I don't have enough money to pay for. I also used it so I could get some rewards, so hence the balance. One Main Financial, my first personal loan it started the month of November at $15,992.18. I made the minimum payment of $537.16 and an additional payment of $36.55. They charged me interest of $202.22. And somehow that seems a little bit incorrect, but I'm going to roll with it because when I did check my balance, it was at $15,620.69. I would be surprised if the 202.22 is correct. I will have to go in and double check. But this was my starting balance and this was my ended balance. So the backstory with the One Main loan. So I know a few guys have watched my videos, but I've never really gone in and given a not a reason, but sort of like an explanation of why my debts are so high. So One Main loan, I took this out because I wanted to consolidate my debts, and this was in 20. I started out in 2017 with this loan, and yes, I know. So I started out actually in 2018. I started out with this loan. I think I took out, I think starting out it was $13,000 that I started. And I had used it to consolidate a lot of my credit card debts just so I could have one payment. Now, this worked for a little while, but ultimately, what ended up happening is what most people do is that you consolidate your loans and you get rid of the credit cards balances, and then for whatever reason, if life happens or you're just foolish, as in my case, I was very foolish, you turn around and you use these cards again. So I turned around and I racked up all these balances again. Now, at first, this One Main Financial loan was a secured loan, and I had a car that was fully paid off. I had it as collateral. So, as the year gone on, I kind of wanted to sell that car, but knowing that they were a lien holder on that account, I had to get rid of them in a sense. I didn't have the money to pay the full balance. So, and what One Main does is they continue to send you re-ups. I call them re-ups because they tell you, oh, you could refinance your loan and get more money, and they'll pay off the old loan and you'll be able to get, whether it's a $2,500 or $3,000 or whatever the amount is. So when they did send me that offer, they offered an unsecured loan. So this means that I would be able to take my car off as collateral and ultimately be able to sell it. So I went ahead, and I think at the time I was down to maybe 10,000, maybe $9,000 balance for that loan. So I re-upped the loan. Yes, I did. I re-upped the loan. I think I ended up with $17,000. Now, that additional money, don't ask me where it went. I think it just seeped through my fingers like sand in water. And all that money was used to do God knows what. I wouldn't be able to tell you right now because I don't remember. It was spent foolishly. So I re-upped this loan. So this was maybe 2021 when I did that. So we came around again, and I found myself in another situation, and here they come. I can re-up the loan again. And I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe if they would lower my interest rate. So I thought about it, and when I contacted them, they were able to lower the interest rate. Now, what my silly self should have done, I should have taken the lower interest rate, but just refinance the loan and stay at the balance that I was. But I needed the money. Well, I wanted the money to do whatever I did with it then. So I re-upped again, and this time I think I went up to $19,000. And I was able to get the additional monies. And once again, that was like sand on the water in your hands. It just disappeared. So now here I am, you know, 2021. Well, here I am 2 years later, still battling with this loan amount. And I find myself, thinking, why did I make those decisions? And, when I go into deep thought and think about it, um, I'm a giver. And I tend to put myself on the back burner and do for everybody else. So even when I had these loans, if someone came, family member or a friend came and they wanted something from me, whether it was monetary or, whether they wanted to be fed, um, I would feed them. I would lend the money. I would help out in any way I can because that is my love language. My love language is giving. So I ended up with this loan balance. And now here we go at $15,620. I am struggling to pay it. So that's the story behind One Main. That is my debt focus. I'm going to try to see if I can get rid of this balance. I'm hoping by the end of 2024. I'm going to have to work real hard at it, but I'm hoping that is my goal to get rid of this loan, this debt amount by the end of 2024. So next year, this time, it should be gone. Okay, so let's move into the London Club. I started the month with $26,433.77. Now, the minimum payment for that one is $1,059.22. Interest that came out was $440.32. And I ended the month at $25,814.87. Now, let's talk about this one. So, this one I took out in June of 2023. So I was drowning under credit card debts because even after the One Main loan, um, I ended up racking up all the credit cards. They were all maxed out again, and I could barely pay the minimum payments. I could barely pay my rent. I'm documenting late, but there were times when I was, late on my rent by a month and a half, almost 2 months. So I ended up taking this loan out to consolidate all the balances. Now, this loan was for $29,000. What I should have done right off the bat was pay off the One Main loan. That would have been the best way to go. And I had gone in and I had ran scenarios. I had come up with, I think, 4 different plans for the money. Now, ultimately, I told myself that the best plan was to put it towards the credit cards. So I think I cleared 5 credit cards with that money, including the Capital One number one card over here. I had paid this balance down to about $5,000. Now, I wish I was documenting my journey on YouTube then because I would have been able to, my eyes would have been more open as to what I was doing. So it would have been one of two things for me. I would have, one, maybe not have taken this loan out and dealt with my minimum payments on the credit cards. Or two, I would have paid off One Main and only have to deal with one minimum payment for a personal loan of such high amount. So I kind of screwed up with this one also. I see my mistakes now, and that is why I'm working so hard to fix them. So I've seen, I've read a few comments where you guys cringe. There's a lot of people that are very encouraging. There are some tough comments that I've read. Some people are very matter of fact, and I appreciate that. But you know what? I'm still human and I still, have feelings. And yes, I am the one who is documenting this journey in the public eye. So I understand. So I do see what my mistakes were, and that's why I'm working right now to correct them. It's going to take a lot, but I'm willing and I'm pushing to do the work to do it. Okay, so let's move on. My auto loan, I started at 4,200. I wish. $42,332.80. I made only one payment, which was half a payment for $439.93. The interest that came out of that was $107.69, and there was an extra payment because I wanted to get it under 42,000 for $8.38, and it did bring my balance down to 49. It did bring my balance down to 41,992 and 88 cents. So I'm very, very happy with this number. Hubby and I took this car out in 2021. Now, there is a little bit more, I can't give you guys everything at once. It's going to take a process to get to know me and to get to know my family situation. Now, we are a family of 8. Yes, I did say it. We are a family of 8. Hubby and I have 6 children total. We only have the 2 youngest living with us now, but there is 4 other kids that we take care of and support. So since our oldest, who's turning 18 in a few days actually, he's no longer with us. He was with us for years, and he's a boy, so he ate like a man. So, groceries was out of control. So that's why I'm very happy right now when my grocery bill is really low. But I'm going off on a tangent. So the auto loan, because we have so many children, and at some point, for summer breaks and Christmas breaks and, certain vacations, we have all the children together. So we needed a big car. So we ended up getting a big family car, an extended cab, I guess. We have an expedition. And when we first went to go, try to get a car, they weren't cheap. And this was during, the height when prices were ridiculous. Our interest rate is not bad at 6.19%, but we started this loan at $65,000. Would I have gone and done that now? Absolutely not. I would not do that. I would have been like, listen, we will drive 2 cars. We will keep the 2 old cars that we have, and we will drive 2 cars when we go out. It's not necessarily to have the family in one car, you know? So those were big decisions. And at the time when we got this car, we had 4 of the children with us. It was only 2 that were, coming and going per se. So now that we're still left with this loan, and our situation has changed, it's making me question whether or not this was a good decision. It was a good decision at the time, but as of right now, it's not a good decision. But I am not going to beat myself up over it. So that's a little bit of backstory on how I ended up with these loans and these amounts to pay. So the next debt is ECSI, and I didn't pay anything on it in the month of November. So we started and ended at $1,695.46. So we started the month with a total debt of $123,292.16. We made a total payments of 3,000. That works out to be $175.34. $620.93 of that was to interest, and we ended the month at $121,921.06. So that's a total amount change from the month of October to the month of December for $1,371.10. It's not a big change. Granted, we paid $3,000, but it's a change that I'll take. Okay? So I have told you guys I am very, very aware of the situation we're in right now, the financial bind, the financial hole that I have dug myself and my family and hubby and I have dug ourselves into. We're working on it. So I know that you guys have heard bits of my story. I'm still new to YouTube. I've only been documenting for a month. So you can't get to know me in a month. But I will give you little bits of, what I'm able to share with you. I'll give you bits of it, piece by piece. And that's how I can deal with it. So you guys may need or maybe want to hear the story all at once, but I can't give it to you all at once. So you will get it piece by piece. So, like I said, a little bit about me that you guys learned today is that I'm a mother of three, but I have three stepchildren. So hubby and I have a total of six together, and we do support them. So even though they're not all living with us, we do support them, and they do come and go. So there are times when they are all under one roof. So like I said, that's a little bit about me. This is a little bit more info on my debts. I'm working on it. And little by little, I'm going to chip away at it and I'm going to dig myself out of this hole. But like I've mentioned, my debt of focus is my one main. Okay, this is the loan that I'm going to be focusing on. This is the one that I'm going to be paying off in the month, paying off in the year 2024 somehow. So if you've lasted this long in the video, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more. So my name is Melissa. Talk to you next time.